We're Beastplague, and you're watching Arise. Welcome back. You're watching Arise. We're hanging out with Beastplague. One of the things that's notable about the new record is the addition of Ian on vocals. You guys want to talk about the decision making into deciding on the new vocalist?
Sam, you want to talk about how you botched that almost?
This guy hit me up like probably 2 months before Chad remembered to hit him up after, saying, "Yo, you know anybody who needs a singer?" I was like, "Nah, not really, but if anything comes up, I'll let you know." And they were talking about wanting to get a singer for like the longest time, and just didn't really compute. And then Chad just sends us a demo one day, and I was like, "Oh, that's Ian, isn't it?"
Yeah, thank you, Tyler Dinslow.
Yeah,
KOTP Records.
yeah, shout out Tyler. I mean, he helped this band out. He's helped other bands we've been in, but he was the first person I hit up. He's in Jacksonville. He's got a studio up there. Tallahassee. What's it called?
KOTP.
No, but
he's got Little Garden now.
Little Garden. Yeah.
He's our hard man to follow.
Yeah, but hit him up, and he was like, "Dude, for sure, I know this dude Ian." He came over to my house. I didn't even tell these guys. I was just like, let's just demo. And then actually, I think about half of what he did just to try out ended up on the record because it was just so good first time. So yeah, it was. I think Jared wanted us to get a singer for the longest time, and we were always like, no, it's cool. Like we like doing the like everybody singing thing, but then Eric,
too fat and too old.
Yeah, and then Eric's writing riffs that are way too hard to sing and play at the same time, so we're like, we should probably get somebody else. So yeah, it's been awesome having an actual singer.
As far as tracking goes, you tracked most of the record? Yeah. So what was different about this time going into it? Because the last record was back in 2014, correct?
I wasn't even in the band then full time. I joined right after there was a split with Shovelhead and like a full length. Our full lengths are EPs because all the songs are 1 minute. So when you got 10 songs, 10 minutes. So I joined right after that, and yeah, I just started learning how to track on my own. I think just out of laziness, we didn't want to ever have to bother people for tracking, and I think the last time I did it, I said it was the last time I'd do it, and then they talked me into doing it again. But it's got its benefits. It's nice to have like outside perspective when you do stuff, because sometimes you think it all sucks or you think your shit is good and it's not. So it's good to have other people's opinions who aren't in the band. But I think it worked out for this one for sure. Yeah, and then just tracked it all at how like Eric and I would just throw shit back and forth, and Ian literally did all the vocals in my closet. Yeah, it's real convenient, and it's way more relaxing to be able to like not have pressure of working on someone else's schedule. But again, I think there is a lot to be said about working with somebody who knows what you're trying to do and can give you outside perspective. But having Ian new in the band, I think, gave us that, because we had all the songs written, and if he thought the song was good, he's like, all right, it's good. It's not like we're like hiring our own shit, you know.
In terms of the drum process, did you guys do MIDI drums?
So I have a E-kit at my house. I got it like during COVID, and then that's when I kind of started talking to these guys. What we were doing, me, Chad, and Jared were doing another band called Leveled, and while we were doing that, every time we were hanging out, we were talking about like, hey, we should start up Beastplague again. I got my E-kit, and then when I got the laptop and started kind of just like tracking stuff at home and started putting stuff together, that's kind of like when everything came through, and started just like kind of just putting everything together again super quickly. But yeah, everything's tracked on an E-kit through like GGD, and then so it is all MIDI, but I'm playing all the parts through my my what the hell do I have?
Eat it.
Yeah, but whatever the hell. I can't remember what the hell it is right now, but it's an electric drum set.
A Roland something.
It's a Roland TD30. Thank you.
That's all he needed was the rolling.
Awesome. Do you have a preference over MIDI drums versus the acoustic live sound?
Preference. I prefer not being surrounded by noise consistently. So, I like the E-Kit because it's super convenient. I mean, I tracked some of these songs at like fucking 12 o'clock at night, you know, so it was super easy for me to do it at my house. I like playing live drums live, but if I had a preference and I had to pick, I would say just doing it through my E-Kit. It just makes it a little more comfortable, and I can just I can take my time. I think the big thing about this recording process was like we weren't taking up studio time. I wasn't waiting on anyone. No one was waiting on me. I would go into my room and just lay down some tracks, and I would go and train or go and do something else and then come back and do something later. So having that freedom to be able to just keep plugging away at stuff and like trashing ideas and bringing something back just made it super convenient. So I'd pick E-Kit all day.
What would you guys say has been like a theme, or do you guys consider it?
Scary hats and black magic. Honestly, it's just whatever comes to mind. Just try to come up with something. Try to come up with something like original, like maybe from the like perspective like a short story or something. Maybe not as fleshed out as like a full story, but just like that kind of idea. A couple of the songs like Sam had already had putting together. It's like based off of like Hellraiser and stuff like that. But
Jared used to be like, "Yo, write a song about Goro."
I know you contribute riffs as well. Are you guys ever saying like, "Hey, can we chill out for this one?"
It's usually the opposite. It's usually let's pump it up and can we push the BPM up a bit. That's the reason why we ended up going with this singer again. Like all of us doing vocals, it ended up just being too tough, and I wanted to keep pushing like tempos and harder riffs. And eventually, like we just started to kind of like when we're trying to do that stuff, we kind of started to sound like shit. Kind of. It's just like. Again, I'm too fat and I'm too old to be like screaming and blasting and doing all this stuff, and then
Strenuous.
all of us trying to like do this. So we were like, if we had to pick, can we just write harder shit and get a singer? And that's what we did.
That's awesome. I mean, it definitely seems like you guys are always pushing the envelope, definitely with the speed and the techniques. So that's awesome to hear. What would you say for like new listeners if you had to point to one song on the record as like a mission statement for the band? This is Beastplague. Check this out to get a full grasp of the band. What song would that be?
Do we all want to say it at the same time or no?
Yeah.
Are y'all in agreement on one?
Oh, I'm sure we all know.
Oh, snap.
Uh-oh.
It's Blueprint for sure.
Yeah, Blueprint.
I think it's the first song that we've actually done that's actually a song. I mean, for people who don't know us, if we have a song over like 55 seconds, it's kind of rare. That song's like 121. It has a part that repeats like 3 times, which usually for us is way too much, right? Like,
It's got a hook.
yeah, it's got a hook basically. So, and I think that's, I don't want to promise anything, but I know personally that's kind of where we want to go moving forward, while still keeping what we do. Like, I think we're all, like, we live by like trim the fat. Like, yo, that riff is hard, but I don't need to hear it for 3 minutes. You know what I mean? And there's something to that, but like. I think a lot of, not talking shit, but bands like kind of hide behind that sometimes, right? Where for us it's like we want like more, like play the riff twice, move on. Get in, get out. Other bands that we've done are the same thing, and I think that's what we always try to do. So, but that song I think pulls that off while still being a little more palatable, I think. And that's actually the first song that Ian tracked again. But like the vocals on that song were like half demo tracks that we just ended up keeping because it was so sick from the first try. So yeah, that's definitely the song, Blueprint for Anguish. on the new record.
And what's the reaction been from some of these new faces? Because we definitely are seeing new faces in the scene post-COVID. So how's the reaction been?
I mean, for me, like I told Jeff this Equinox booking, like we've all been going to shows because we're old since like early mid 2000s, right? And there's just something like super special about what's been going on lately. I think everyone's super into everything. There's a lot of people just wanting to have a good time, and I think that was gone for a while. And I even told Jeff this once. I told him, I was like, yo, like South Florida is different than anywhere else. But then, like, my ignorance, like I hadn't been to a lot of shows in Orlando, which is where I live now. Orlando's fucking sick too. Tampa is sick. Like, I think it's been catching on in places. So I think most bands who kind of used to play back then and who started playing again now would all agree that like there's just something different about showing up to shows packed out. Everyone, and it's not just there's a lot of people, like the vibe is just completely different because people just want to have fun. People want to jam out and check out bands they've never heard of. So I think the reception's been good, and we just kind of want to keep it going and keep writing and not, you know, the record just came out less than a year ago, but we're always like, let's do more, let's put new shit out. So
Are there any new bands that you guys are digging on?
Final warning.
Circle play will be fucking sick!
Any new music soon?
We're demoing some stuff. Our the group chat's popping off, but nothing solid just yet. So I'd say soon.
there's a folder already of like 15 riffs. Like, we just need to find the time to piece them together and get rolling. But yeah, once we get in the groove, it'll be a quick process for sure. Because a lot of the what took us the long time the last time is finding this dude, right? So we're ready to go.